In the legal world, there is a combination of forces that feed a corrupt and suffocating legal system for attorneys. Law schools, law professionals, judges, and even the firms themselves for whom you work create a system, a matrix, if you will, that is nothing like what you thought when you passed the bar exam. The purpose of this podcast is to help you escape this legal matrix, leading you out of the proverbial desert to be free of the bondage of the matrix. Hosted by Bryce D. Nyer, attorney at law with over 30 years experience in the trenches of civil and criminal litigation at the state, federal, and international levels. He's a highly accomplished and resourceful legal professional, a true master of his craft, and he's here to help you get your life back. Here's your host, Bryce D. Nyer.
All right. This is Bryce D. Nyer coming at you live from Fayetteville, North Carolina, home of Fort Bragg, for another episode of Escape the Legal Matrix. And in the house with us tonight is, of course, our favorite law firm mascot, Drake, the Labrador Retriever. Let's give it up for Drake. Yeah, come on, let's hear it. There you go. Okay, so, what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, we're probably going to talk about a lot. We're going to talk about this thing called attention to detail. Yes. And I'll tell you why I'm going to pay attention to it. Let me tell you, the last couple of weeks have been intense for me in litigation, personal issues, business issues, you name it, issues. So when people say, dude, you got issues, they're right. I do. So for you law students, would-be lawyers, and anybody in any industry, or if you're out there listening, or for my clients, listen. Nothing happens by magic. That's just stupid. You have to pay attention to detail. Details matter. Details always matter. So I'm going to share with you something that happened. I get these premonitions from time to time because I'm just a detail-oriented person. I believe in planning. When I was an Army officer and I was in different troop leadership positions, I also did wartime planning, logistical planning. And so details can be the difference in success or failure of any mission, and it could be a defining moment in success or failure of any legal case that you are involved. So, anyway, there were certain things I checked on regarding financial accounts, and all that sort of stuff, and found out this big, huge corporation wasn't really paying attention to what they should. And when they're not, things can go awry. So you have to pay attention to everything in your life and body being balanced in business in those particular domains. Because the minute you stop paying attention, the minute you shy away from accountability or responsibility, the minute you get too tired and you don't know when to take a step back and get some rest, you're going to screw stuff up. You're going to make mistakes. And this particular company, they're great. I'm not going to say their name, but they made a mistake not paying attention to details, what it appears to me. And it had a price tag of over, of six figures. And that's not funny. Not when it's your money. So this is why it's always critical to pay attention to detail. And I've noticed that in my life when people say, oh, don't worry, be happy. Like that song that came out like in the 80s. Which is a great song, but still, you can't just go through life like Pollyanna and pretend everything's all right. No, it'll be okay, no problem. You can't do that. You have to follow up. And if there's anything that my training, my experience over the decades have taught me, that when my premonition or my gut, there's just something not right, there's not. I'm very good at that. It's been one of my biggest strengths and skill sets in my entire life. I just have this knack for knowing when things are just not right. I get this feeling, this stirring, this conviction inside me. And when I go to check it out, I usually am able to prevent a catastrophe. And so sometimes when I go to bed at night, I'll awaken at 12 or 2 in the morning, and midnight, 2 in the morning, and something will come up. And I got to tell you, 99% of the time, it's an issue. And then I go check it out, and it is an issue. And I don't know, maybe it's God's divine intervention. But I'm going to take you back on a real world example. years ago. I couldn't sleep one night, and I kept thinking about, our bookkeeping and stuff, and something just said something's not right. And I tell you, to be honest, I could not sleep. So I got up, showered, went in, and I was supposed to be in trial that morning. And so I went in like at midnight, and I started going through all these transactions and accounting, and I found like 200 errors. Now, in the big scheme of things, they were minor, but they added up. So I sat there and made a list. And then when I got back from court, went to talk to my staff that handles that, and all of a sudden she quit. And I can't tell you, I began to uncover things because you got to pay attention to detail. So I caught it because I'm a leader, and I check into stuff, and I double back, triple back to make sure stuff is getting done and getting done right. And in that process, discovered a lot of other things that had not been done. Now, this was years ago, but it doesn't matter whether it's yesterday, or it's tomorrow. You have to constantly be vigilant. You have to pay attention to detail, because the minute you don't, things are going to get screwed up. And we all get busy. Look, I get it. A lot of people right now in today's world, which is so uncertain and has so much chaos ongoing. I mean, it just does. That most people's lives are just like burning to the ground. They're dumpster fires. We've got divorces. We've got sickness. We've got relatives that are dying. We've got, all kinds of people or things that we have to take care of. And we're just getting flooded with messages and emails and phone calls and everything, to where you're going to go out of your damn mind. And so it distracts you from paying attention to the critical things that you need to pay attention to. And when you miss certain details, it can really cause things to just go into self-destruct mode. I'll give you another example. Okay, this is kind of funny. So, well, it's funny to me. So about, 2 weeks ago, I came back from the coast, and it was just raining like hell. And I had Drake with me. He's in the back. And he has learned how to put the window down with his paw. So, of course, I have the kitty protect locks. But anyway, I was, so tired. I had so much on my mind. I came out from the gas station, and I was trying to put the window up, because I put it down so he could kind of, look out the window while I was pumping gas. But anyway, when I went to put the window up, it wasn't going up. I'm like, oh, hell, it's got to be the inside components in the door. I think they're called actuators. I don't remember. But anyway, it just wouldn't work. And I'm like, oh, hell, it's going to, it's raining. I'm going to get rain in the truck. And here's what happened. I was pushing the wrong window button, because it was the driver's side back window, and I was pushing the button closest to me, which is the back window on the passenger side. But I was so distracted and I wasn't paying attention. So I got out of my truck, and I'm like trying to push the window up, and hell, you can break them doing that. And then I thought, wait a minute. I saw the other window down, and I had already pushed the window up, and I'm like, I don't know. So I took it in the Toyota dealer the next morning, and when I took it in there, all the windows were working perfectly. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I've been pushing the wrong button. So the point I'm making is, when you get distracted and you've got so many things going on in your life and you don't pay attention to detail, it can have a snowball effect. And so that's why in all these domains of body being balanced in business, and again, I get it, it's difficult trying to balance all these four domains and make them all function simultaneously, like, 4 cylinders in your, in the engine, where they're running simultaneously and they're functioning properly, because one goes out, you're going to have a problem. Now, I'm not saying a 4-cylinder car is the best to have. I have a V8. I'm going to tell you, V8 is the way to go. But anyway, when the body being balanced in business, that's those are the 4 main cylinders in this foundation of the core 4. But again, I'm telling you folks, the attention detail, everything from balancing your checkbook to checking the expiration dates on foods to making sure you keep up with your annual physicals to, eye appointments. I mean, it's the little things in life that build up when you don't pay attention to detail that'll get you every time. And it will. So I want you to ask the better question, and we're going to keep this kind of short tonight because I'm just kind of tired. So where in your world are you not paying attention to detail? Where in your world are you letting things slip and you're so distracted by life and problems and issues and things like that? Some issues may be critical. They may be things you have to pay attention to. But where in your world are you not paying attention to detail in the domains of body, being, balance, and business? That if you're not, they're falling apart and then you're not having any fulfillment. Ask yourself and then answer that question and write it down. Okay, this has been another episode of Escape the Legal Matrix with yours truly, Bryce coming at you live from Fayetteville, North Carolina, home Fort Bragg, where every day men and women don the uniform and do what? They go out and wage war against our enemies that would seek to do what? Take away from us the very freedoms that we what? So often take for granted. And Drake and I, we are out of here.